It's time for SHL News. So we have Brendan Sheridan, who redesigns and customizes Todd McFarlane miniatures. So welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so before I get into this, I mean, you're a hockey fan, I take it?
Yeah, Capitals fan. And
oh, no.
Are you a Wild fan?
I am. I am a through and through Wild fan.
Yeah. Bruce Boudreau has been great for the Wild organization, and that's really kind of what got me started in beer league hockey in D.C. Was Bruce Boudreau's style of offensive, defensive, scoring a ton of goals, So yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
It's unfortunate for the Wild, but the Caps, Game 7 tomorrow. That's
a pretty exciting series.
Absolutely.
Well, we've always got next year. I mean, it's the first year he's with the organization. We'll see what happens next year. So
yeah, that's what we keep on telling ourselves in D.C. There's always next year, and it's gotten old, and yeah, 10 years of disappointment is on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night here, but there's tomorrow afternoon, or the next day tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it'd be like your tomorrow night will be the next day in the morning, because it was about 12 hours time difference. So 11 to 12.
Yeah. Gotcha. Cool.
So let's talk about these miniatures. I mean, how did you get involved in doing these miniatures?
So I played beer league. I played goalie in an adult rec league, and I ended up getting injured. My leg got dislocated. I was on a breakaway.
Oh.
Leg got dislocated. I was out for 3 months. Couldn't get on the ice, so I was bored. I wanted to be on the ice every single chance I got. I played 3 to 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. So not being on the ice, I wanted to still do something that I was kind of involved with, having to do with hockey, and potentially make a little business out of it. So I ended up figuring out. I went to school for graphic design, got an art degree, and figured I would just kind of combine the two together and start kind of customizing these figures and kind of make it a little bit of a hobby / little side job of it, because I found out that a lot of parents and a lot of people that do play hockey either like to see a figure of them or of their kid. Mm-hmm. So I kind of found a need, for it. So I kind of just went forward, and I through some trial and error in the process, I was able to get like a really good process going in order to really kind of turn them around fairly quickly. So Christian had gotten me on my first phase as I was figuring everything out. Okay. And then on this last phase, I was able to get 4 figures out, to the SHL, and that's kind of where we're at today. Okay. So that's why. That's how I know Christian.
Okay. Well, I've seen them, and they look really, really good, and I'm excited for the awards ceremony coming up this weekend. Was there a reason why you chose the Todd McFarlane series, or do you just use any of them?
So I like the Todd McFarlane series just because they have such great detail to them. Okay. I like those over, there's a thing called the Import Dragon series now where they're not as detailed and they just don't look real. Mm-hmm. When I took pictures of the Todd McFarlane ones, when they're already all detailed up and, repainted, the picture it actually looks like a real person, right? Yes. So there's some realism to it. And that really kind of appeals to me in kind of what I go about customizing. So really, Todd McFarlane, a lot more detailed than anything else that's out there.
Okay. So you reshape them, and what, do you melt them down, or, I mean, or is it like a secret process you really don't want to get into too much?
No. No, so sometimes what you're able to do is you end up chopping off arms, and you end up putting wire through the arms and like rebending it, and then you use kind of like a putty to reshape the missing pieces that you end up cutting off in the beginning. But typically, you're able to, Todd McFarlane created so many different types of poses and figures, defensemen, forwards, goalies. The goalies are really detailed, and I'm a goalie, and I really like what they have in terms of the detail on the goalies. But really, what I was able to do from the beginning was really just kind of prime the figure, bring it down to the just a white paint layer across the board, and then just kind of build it up from there. Create the decals, create all the artwork, and then apply everything in miniature, to them. So a lot of the jobs I've done is just really just customizing and kind of repainting and re-decaling.
Okay.
But you can, there is the ability to actually do that custom molding, or I'm sorry, the custom sculpting, and kind of reuse pieces. Like there are people that use like Wayne Gretzky's head on Bobby Hull's body with Ovechkin's gloves, and then they are able to pull it all together and essentially create like a brand new figure.
Okay.
Specific to maybe an iconic photo of something that the client gave me. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities, and there's a lot of inventory out there. I get it all on eBay. I kind of just have an inventory where I will look to see what is the best figure for the job.
Okay.
And just kind of go from there.
So you actually create your own decals for this?
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I there's a whole process to it, but yeah, I just Photoshop, and then you print them out on a special printer that I kind of rationalize the cost on to get it. It's not, it's like a laser printer that's kind of special to decals, and it's all about the heat and the burning onto this special paper, and it's quite a big process, and just kind of researching and figuring it out as I went. Really kind of brought me to a good understanding of what I had to do to get a really good product and result.
Wow. Well, like I said, the ones I've seen so far, the ones that you've sent the SHL, they look phenomenal. So I'm really excited to see those. Yeah. So you've done that, like you said, Christian was like the first phase. How many different phases have you started creating now? I mean, you've done it in different levels, or?
Yeah, I would say there's probably been 4 or 5 different kind of levels I've kind of crossed. The first level was really just figuring out the best paints to use and the best primers to use, and then as I move forward, you can use inkjet paper versus laser print paper versus all the little nitty gritty details to get the best kind of result. And then there's also like finishing and sealing off the paint. There's actually people that create this spray that holds everything on so it doesn't chip away and melt away, essentially. So it actually creates a finished product. So there are people, in the customizing world that I've been able to really kind of consult with to get the process down. But yeah, I know it sounds like from the top layer, it looks like it's fairly straightforward, but there's a lot of little intricate details to it to make it look, as natural as possible. So with those SHL figures, I took it a step further, and I actually figured out a way to make the ice look like legit ice. Okay. And that it was, there's like miniature kind of like snow on it, and the bases I created those custom. Okay. Cut all the wood, created the frames, and got all that going. So I think the SHL is going to be pretty happy with what you guys get. So yeah, it was quite a process. It was quite an effort to get those together, and I was really happy to have the chance. The ice, I think, really looked good. I don't know if you were able to see the bases.
No, not yet, but I will absolutely see them this Saturday. So I've just seen the pictures of them so far. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's if you look on the bases, like you'll see, I even created I went down to the detail of like skate blades on ice.
Oh, cool.
And I created each of those little skate blades, and I put like snow in each of the creases of the cuts on the ice, and yeah, there's some really cool detail to it that I was able to figure out pretty quickly. But yeah, I think the ingenuity and the innovation behind it can really kind of lend itself well in creating a really good product. So yeah, that's why I enjoy it. Of course, I've already healed up from my injury from last year. It took 3 months, but I ended up creating about 30 or so figures in total.
Oh wow!
In the first batch with those five different levels of process to it. But yeah, I've been able to create 30, and I just moved, and I ended up buying quite a bit on eBay, so I had to move all of those with me as well. So it was so I couldn't stop buying these figures to like customize, but the downside of that was I had to move all those boxes with me.
Oh, I bet that was hard.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like 10 full boxes of figures, so I went a little crazy, but now that I'm almost settled in in my new place, we're gonna probably start doing another run of them.
Okay. So there's like a whole group of people that excuse me, sorry about that. There's like a whole group of people that like totally redesign and reconfigure these miniatures, or
yeah, so not so much in the hockey space, but in the football and basketball and baseball space.
okay.
Mostly in the football space, there's a lot of customizers that will actually make full-on businesses of doing these. So McFarlane still makes football figures.
Mm-hmm.
They still have a contract, I think, with NFL to create brand new figures.
Okay.
They, I think, lost their contract with NHL a few years back, but the player gear and equipment is fairly current, so you can still get away with using, a figure from 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
That still looks current, but yeah, there's a whole community of them. If you go to sports figures, all right, sports customized. Sorry, 1 second, let me figure this out. Yeah, there's like a whole group, and they're essentially you just go there and you say, I have this issue, and what can I do to make a better decal or whatever. And there's a lot of research and help there that really kind of pushed me through this.
Okay.
It's called Sports Figure Customizers Network. So anywhere from someone that's just green, just wants to get started, that's a really good place to get into it. I mean, all you really need is a figure and some paint, and you can really kind of get started with it. Of course, you'll need a lot more to get up to a professional level, like a printer and some software to create the decals. But yeah, if anyone's interested in creating these figures or customizing them, it's pretty straightforward. Just have to have access to a paintbrush and paint.
Okay.
And a figure.
Well,
I also started with bobbleheads. That was actually where I started with. I started with bobbleheads, and then I got bored of bobbleheads, and I went to McFarlane.
Okay.
So,
what,
there's a little bit of a history here.
Okay. Why did you get bored with the bobbleheads?
Ceramic breaks really easily when you drop it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, I had 1 or 2 where I would customize, and then, I'm about to be done, and then, the dog would knock it off, the dog would knock it off the desk, or, they're just, and then, I'm now repairing chips, just different things. I don't know. It was an interesting beast, but it's real kind of actually easy with the bobbleheads. The McFarlane figures, it's a little bit more advanced in that you have to get into little creases, and things aren't bendable, so you have to kind of figure out different ways to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a cool little hobby that I got myself into.
Yeah, it sounds.
My
like
wife approves of it.
She does. Well, that's always a good thing. So.
Yeah.
It sounds very similar to when I got into podcasting. So it's like I did a lot of, I heard about, or not heard about it. A friend of mine was like, yeah, I used to make these radio shows, and I was like, well, you should too. And I used to also be on a radio show back in high school, and then I was like, you should try podcasting. Why don't I try podcasting? And then I did all the research and got like, I'm always wanting to upgrade to the next thing and get something a little bit better, and so. But yeah.
So I will say I do have this bad boy.
Okay.
I should have brought out, but I don't have any of my stuff set up yet. So that's, you kind of catch me on my phone. So, but yeah, the good old Mike is ready to do some podcasting or just do something with some voiceovers. I don't know, but you have probably a lot better setup than I do.
Well, I started off with the Snowball, which is by the same company that makes the Yeti, and
Yep.
then I upgraded to an XLR mics. So I don't have them where I'm at right now because my studio is still in the process, because I just went through a move myself. So my studio is still in the process of being reset up and reorganized and stuff. So
Gotcha.
I'm just using the mic on my headphones, so hopefully it doesn't sound too bad.
No, not at all. Very cool.
Yeah. So how long have you been playing hockey then?
I've been playing hockey for going on 7 years. And I made it a goal to learn how to skate after I went out with my wife to go, do like a public skate. Didn't know how to skate at all. I ended up getting brave, went away from the boards, started to skate, started getting some speed, and then I noticed I couldn't stop, but I was heading right towards this old lady and her granddaughter.
Oh,
and
no.
I stopped, a.k.a. I put my knees down, and the momentum just pushed me right into them. I was really embarrassed. So I actually was a highly competitive volleyball player.
Okay.
So I got bored I get bored of things and I do new stuff like bobblehead semi-farlands or volleyball to playing hockey, which is two totally different things. But I learned how to skate, then started playing left wing, right wing. And then I got bored of that, and I decided to be a goalie. So I've been playing in net for 3 years, going on 4.
Okay.
No, yeah, like 3.5 years, but play about 4 days a week. So I really have been able to kind of accelerate just the learning process. But there's never going to be a time where I'm not learning. So that's why I love hockey so much.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Learning.
But wow, goaltender! Man, I've played goaltender. I'm a defenseman at heart. I grew up playing hockey. It takes a special type of person to play a goaltender. I believe that. I can't do it myself. So.
Yeah, it's a totally different game. You get to see a different side of hockey than you ever would ever see. Playing forward and defense. It's just a different world, and I love it just because I get to be on ice and I get to stand around for quite a bit. But then I have to be on right when when the puck's heading your way. I mean, everything is on your shoulders, and I think I thrive on that pressure. Okay. And it's actually kind of helps me at work too. It's funny, it kind of made me a little bit more confident in some aspects professionally, in my day job.
Okay.
So it's been really fun. I've enjoyed it. Not too many injuries, just leg got dislocated once, and I played with a broken foot another time, a few other times, but that's all water under the bridge because they heal themselves.
Yeah. Well, how did you did you dislocate your knee or did you dislocate your hip? What happened?
It was my leg. So a guy was on a breakaway and he was shooting the puck. He was by himself. He shoots the puck. It hits my leg. Hits my lower leg, and then he just caught a bad edge and just barreled right towards me. Put all of his weight essentially right from the knee down, and my leg buckled. And there's actually a GoPro behind me videoing everything, and it was definitely pretty brutal. I was able to show that to the emergency room, and all the doctors wanted to see the gruesome video of how everything happened.
That's funny, but ow at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, really. So I got to plug my phone in. It's losing battery.
That's all right.
All right, there you go.
So this is, for you, doing these figurines is just completely like a hobby part-time thing?
Yeah. I'm actually an IT solutions consultant.
Okay.
I'm in IT, IT sales, but I got a degree in art, and this is a way to keep going with that. I mean, that's a true passion. But yeah, it doesn't pay the bills, so
not yet. Anyway,
I have to have a day job.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet. Anyway, that's right.
So, if somebody wanted to contact you to have some figurines, to make some figurines, how would they go about that?
They can go to Christian.
Okay.
First and foremost, they can, he'll put you in contact with me. Yeah, my email's a bit long-winded, and I think I'm going to migrate over to a new email after having this other one for like 10 years. But people can contact me at bsheridandesign@gmail.com. So
okay,
it's BSHERIDAN.
Okay.
Design, DESIGN, at gmail.com.
All one word?
All one word, yep.
Okay. I'll put that up on the screen when I
okay.
make this video. I'll put that up on the screen for everybody.
Yeah.
Instagram.
Actually, I'll go back to vertical. I know that's going to screw things up, isn't it?
That's all right. And on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram is MD_DC.
Okay.
And that's where I've actually posted a bunch of different figures I've done. There's a lot of goalies on there. So originally I had created for Christian his two boys, one scoring on the other. It's kind of like a scene going on.
Okay.
So that's how I first met Christian, or how I worked with Christian. And then I convinced him to have me back for another round of creating. So, but yeah, it's been a fun one. He was actually, so this SHL project was the only project I was willing to pick up. I was taking a break, had a big move going on. I ended up doing a lot of this work at my in-laws. I wasn't even in an apartment or in an established place, so I had to figure out how to do all the materials and everything in a kind of an improvised workshop. But yeah, it was a really fun project.
Okay.
So yeah, Christian got the VIP treatment.
It looked, well, looking at those figurines, I mean, they are awesome. So I'm glad that you decided to continue or do his anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, it was a good time. I'm ready to do some more.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'm gonna. I wanted to keep this as a short video, just specifically more towards a vlog design, although it's over a vlog timeline, but that's okay.
Okay.
I just want, so I have time to edit it up before the Saturday show. So I wanted to thank you for coming on, and hopefully we'll get some more people headed your way to get some more figurines. All right.
Cool. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, Dom.
Thanks a lot. You have a great one.
Yeah. Thanks, you too.
All right. Bye-bye.